The 7 shocking archaeological discoveries and places no one could imagine that left researchers stunned. Hello everyone. Every archaeological discovery is a mysterious journey, opening doors to a distant past that modern science still cannot fully explain. From perfectly preserved ancient mummies that spark controversy to tombs containing mysteries about death and the afterlife, history has always been shrouded in unanswered questions. However, these discoveries have revealed rare glimpses into the lives of ancient people and into the era of humanity's ancestors, which we can only imagine through material traces. Artifacts, bones, and magnificent architectural works are not just pieces of the past, they are living documents, richer in information than any history textbook. They unveil forgotten stories, giving us a deeper understanding of a world full of mystery, where legendary civilizations once thrived and developed. So, what impressive and mysterious discoveries have archaeologists made during their golden years? Let's explore this now. The mummy of the female singer in the stunning sarcophagus and her tragic fate. A long time ago, a woman living in Thebes, Egypt, was mummified and placed inside a beautiful sarcophagus. For 2,700 years, her mummy remained undisturbed until the sarcophagus was destroyed in Brazil. The woman inside the sarcophagus was an important member of Egyptian society. Exquisite, beautiful honorary items were placed inside the sarcophagus to accompany her on her journey to the afterlife. Therefore, it was unfortunate that her sarcophagus was destroyed, as it was an extremely rare ancient artifact. The 2,700-year-old mummy I'm referring to is named Shah-Amun-Ensu. During her lifetime, Shah-Amun-Ensu was a temple singer and a priestess in ancient Egypt during the 22nd dynasty, ruled by Pharaoh Shishak I. There is very little information about Shah-Amun-Ensu, aside from hieroglyphic inscriptions on her sarcophagus. Fortunately, scientists were able to study the sarcophagus and conduct some analyses before it was destroyed. According to the hieroglyphs, Shah-Amun-Ensu was a Heset, meaning a singer. One inscription on her sarcophagus reveals that she was the daughter of a singer at the Temple of Amun. As I understand it, members of the Heset were temple singers and priestesses at the Temple of Amun. They held the important responsibility of performing rituals for the gods and goddesses. During rituals and festivals, Shah-Amun-Ensu performed ceremonial functions and sang hymns to honor the god Amun. It is unknown when, where, or by whom the sarcophagus of Shah-Amun-Ensu was excavated. We only know that her sarcophagus was found somewhere near Thebes, though the exact location cannot be determined. There is also no information about Shah-Amun-Ensu's family, but one inscription on the sarcophagus revealed that she had an adopted daughter. What we do know is that Emperor Pedro II of Brazil visited Egypt in 1875 and was presented with the beautiful sarcophagus containing the intact mummy of Shah-Amun-Ensu as a gift by the Egyptian king Ismail Pasha. As someone deeply interested in the history and culture of ancient Egypt, Emperor Pedro II brought the sarcophagus to the São Cristóvão Palace, where it was displayed until 1889. After leaving Egypt for the São Cristóvão Palace in Brazil, the ancient temple singer's sarcophagus first encountered trouble during a storm. The sarcophagus was blown off its display shelf by the wind. It fell and crashed into a window of Emperor Pedro II's office. The sarcophagus was later repaired, but it could never be fully restored to its original state. It was then moved from the Emperor's Palace to the National Museum of Rio de Janeiro, where it was displayed and studied for many years. Because Shah-Amun-Ensu's sarcophagus was never opened, scientists could only study the mummy inside using X-ray technology. According to this analysis, experts determined that the female singer died at about 50 years old, though the cause of death remains unclear. However, her body seemed to be well preserved, with no signs of trauma or injury, suggesting that Shah-Amun-Ensu passed away from natural causes. Shah-Amun-Ensu had intact teeth. Her throat was covered with a layer of resin to protect her throat, ensuring she could continue singing hymns in the afterlife. Among the honorary artifacts of Shah-Amun-Ensu was a beautiful heart-shaped scarab made of green stone, engraved with her name. But sadly, on September 2, 2018, a massive fire destroyed the National Museum of Rio de Janeiro. The sarcophagus, along with the mummy of the mysterious ancient female singer and all of her gold artifacts, were consumed by the flames. For historians, archaeologists, and those interested in the history of ancient Egypt, it was a sad and regrettable day. Everything related to Shah Amun and Su was lost, and her life may forever remain an ancient mystery that we cannot fully unravel. The 8 Strange Mummies in a Cave and Unsolved Mysteries. In 1991, during an exploration of a mysterious cave called Asi al-Hadath in Lebanon, archaeologists discovered a series of highly unique mummies dating back to the medieval period. This was a remarkable discovery, and researchers believe that the burials of these mummies occurred around the year 1283 AD. They belong to the Maronite people, an ancient religious community in Lebanon. What makes this discovery even more special is that these are the first and possibly the only mummies ever found in Lebanon. The Asi al-Hadath cave, located in the Hadath el-Gibbet area, appears to have once been an ideal living space in the past. Near the cave is an artificial reservoir, providing favorable conditions for habitation and settlement. Additionally, the cave features 2 large chambers, which may have been used as living spaces for ancient inhabitants. Unlike other famous discoveries, such as the Egyptian mummies, the mummies in this cave were naturally preserved, making them appear as if they had just fallen into a deep sleep, retaining a lifelike appearance. The preservation of the bodies was remarkable. Archaeologists believe that the cave's special conditions, such as low humidity and few organisms capable of destroying the remains, facilitated the natural mummification process. The most special story in this discovery is the mummy of a 4-month-old girl named Yasmin. The little girl was buried with great care, dressed in beautiful clothing, including 3 dresses in shades of blue and beige, along with earrings and a necklace made of glass beads, precious jewelry that her mother must have given her. Near Yasmin's remains were other items such as laurel leaves, almonds, walnuts, garlic skins, and onions, showing the distinctive burial practices of the Maronite community at the time. In addition to Yasmin, 7 other skeletons were discovered in the same area, including 4 children and 3 adults. This has led researchers to wonder about the lives and deaths of these individuals. After thorough examination, scientists confirmed that the mummies had been naturally mummified, not by human intervention. The artifacts found were also impressive, such as intricately woven garments and wooden arrows characteristic of the period. From this, a major question arises. Why did all of these people die together in the cave, and how did they die? According to researchers, the Crusades around that time might provide an answer. The city of Tripoli, not far from the cave, was occupied during this period, and many believe that the Maronites in the cave may have fled from invading armies, only to encounter a deadly disaster. However, this is just a theory, and the exact cause of their deaths remains an unsolved mystery. The mummies and artifacts found in the Asi al-Hadath cave serve as a vivid testament to a past era, a mysterious story about the lives and deaths of the ancient Maronite people. While the mystery has not been fully solved, this discovery has shed light on many aspects of the Maronite community's way of life, beliefs, and culture during the medieval period, making this archaeological site one of the most important discoveries in Lebanon. The skeleton of a girl with 2 bird skulls in her mouth. Specifically, Professor Waldemar Chmielewski was the first to uncover the skeleton in the Tunel Wielki cave in southern Poland between 1967 and 1968. However, he chose not to publish this discovery at the time, leading the skeleton to fall into obscurity until Dr. Kott and researchers at Warsaw resumed their investigation. Thanks to radiocarbon dating methods, the researchers identified the skeleton as belonging to a young girl, approximately 10 to 12 years old when she passed away, and dating from the mid-18th to early 19th century. This result also indicated that the girl showed signs of malnutrition and stunted growth. What's particularly interesting is that, besides the girl's bones, no artifacts or traces were found to indicate the cause of her death. It is known that burying individuals in shallow graves in caves was a burial practice that existed at least 4,000 years ago. However, Europe stopped burying the dead in caves during the Middle Ages. Therefore, finding this girl in the Tunel Wielki cave is highly unusual and exceedingly rare. In a report published in the Prähistorische Zeitschrift on May 29th of last year, archaeologists stated that this is an extraordinary and unique discovery in Europe. This has further fueled the mystery surrounding the meaning of her burial. Moreover, DNA tests later revealed that the girl might have been of Finnish or Karelia origin, areas that today belong to Russia and Finland. From this, researchers speculated that she could have accompanied the Finnish army during its invasion of Poland under King Carl Gustaf of Sweden in the mid-17th century. Swedish soldiers, many of whom were from Finland and Karelia, often traveled with their families during military campaigns. Additionally, historical records show that the Karelia people believed the dead in the forest should be buried right there, which might explain why the girl was buried in a cave deep in the forest. However, experts have yet to explain why the girl was buried with bird skulls in her mouth. It is known that in Slavic mythology, birds such as the finch or raven were often seen as the souls of the deceased, with the ability to bring life or death to a body, and the soul of the deceased could live on in their former body. Many other legends suggest that birds are the souls of fallen individuals, or that they could bring about a cycle of reincarnation. Other cultures also view birds as symbols of freedom, and bird skulls symbolize the freedom of the soul upon death. Could it be that the girl's family hoped that the bird skulls would bring her back to life? Or were they trying to free the soul of the deceased? These are questions that researchers are still trying to answer. The vampire grave in Bulgaria. Recently, an archaeological discovery that has caused a stir was made at the border region between Bulgaria and Greece when the famous archaeologist Nikolai Ovcharov unearthed a vampire skeleton from the 13th century. The skeleton is believed to be that of a man, around 40 to 50 years old, who was buried with a special ritual to prevent the unexplained return of the dead from the afterlife. This has provided an intriguing glimpse into ancient beliefs and peculiar burial customs in the medieval period. The discovery was made on October 9th when Ovcharov was excavating in the ancient city of Perperikon in southern Bulgaria, which was once the center of the Thracian people over 5,000 years ago. Here, archaeologists discovered a skeleton pierced through the chest by an iron rod weighing around 2.2 pounds, originating from a plow. Part of the left leg was disjointed and placed separately from the skeleton. It is believed that this was done to prevent the vampire from escaping the grave. According to Ovcharov's research, similar rituals were often applied to those who died under unusual circumstances, such as suicide, or those thought to have the ability to return from the dead. This discovery is not the first of its kind in the Bulgaria-Greece border region. The director of the National History Museum in Sofia, Bojidar Dimitrov, stated that at least 100 vampire skeletons have been discovered in the area. One notable discovery occurred in 2012, when the skeleton of a vampire twin was unearthed in the city of Sozopol, near Perperikon. These two skeletons were buried with an incredibly special ritual. The first skeleton was that of a man, with both feet tied together and an iron rod thrust through the chest. The second skeleton was believed to belong to a notorious 13th century pirate named Krivich. Instead of the iron rod, a sharp stone was driven through his chest, further increasing the mystery and intrigue of these discoveries. Additionally, archaeologists found that sometimes animals such as cats or chickens were buried alongside the dead. This suggests a belief that these animals would watch over the vampires and protect the living from the return of the spirits of the deceased. These findings not only provide a fascinating look into the worldviews and beliefs of ancient people, but also raise many questions about how ancient cultures dealt with death and the dangers from the world of spirits. Is it possible that the belief in vampires was grounded in truth, or was it merely part of the haunting legends of history? This question remains difficult to answer, doesn't it? Mass grave, containing 9 skeletons found in backyard. On February 28, 2014, a family in Sri Lanka made an unexpected discovery of a mass grave containing 9 skeletons behind their house in the town of Puthakudiri Ripu, Mullaitivu district. This shocking discovery came at a time when Sri Lanka was facing international criticism related to war crimes cases. According to police spokesperson Ajith Rohana, forensic experts in the area are collecting and analyzing the remains to determine the origin and cause of death of these victims. The mass grave became even more significant in the context of ongoing political and legal tensions surrounding the civil war between the Sri Lankan government and the Tamil Tiger rebels. Such mass grave discoveries linked to this war are not uncommon and have garnered significant international attention. The issue was immediately brought up at a session of the United Nations Human Rights Council, UNHRC, held in Geneva, Switzerland. Sri Lanka faced harsh criticism from the United States and other countries regarding allegations of war crimes, particularly the killing of civilians. Earlier, in December 2013, another mass grave was discovered in Manor district, containing the remains of victims from the war between the government and the Tamil Tigers. This war, which lasted for several years, resulted in heavy losses for both sides, with thousands of civilians killed throughout the conflict. Additionally, in 2014, another mass grave was discovered in Matale district related to the anti-government uprising between 1987 and 1990. A total of 154 skeletons were unearthed there. At the time of the discovery, the remains were sent for examination and analysis to identify the victims, but the results have never been released. Regardless, the story of this mass grave, along with other similar findings, is not only a part of Sri Lanka's painful history, but also a lesson for the international community about the brutality of war and its long-lasting consequences. Let these discoveries serve as motivation for us to continue fighting for justice, peace, and truth in order to prevent similar tragedies from occurring in the future. Ancient Mayan drawings found on kitchen wall. On an ordinary day, while a family in Guatemala was preparing to renovate their old kitchen, they unexpectedly uncovered a historical treasure, ancient drawings on the wall dating back centuries, belonging to the great Mayan civilization. The process of removing the long-adhered layers of plaster from the kitchen wall inadvertently revealed these strange and vibrant drawings, which even the researchers couldn't stop admiring. When scientists arrived to study the findings, they were amazed at how well-preserved the artwork remained, despite having been forgotten and hidden in the wall for centuries. The preservation is believed to be due to the protective layers of plaster, which shielded the drawings from the ravages of time. The Mayan civilization, which existed thousands of years before the Spanish colonization of the Americas, once covered a vast area, including what are now Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, and western El Salvador. From around 2600 BCE to 900 CE, the Maya built a brilliant civilization, with remarkable achievements in art, science, and architecture. Monumental structures like pyramids and ancient cities are testament to their advanced development. Notably, the Maya also created a full and accurate writing system, making their culture one of the oldest and most advanced in human history. The drawings discovered by the family are not mere decorative patterns, but rather, they carry the traces of a unique civilization. Researchers are currently studying the drawings and attempting to understand why they were painted on the walls of this house. It's possible that the house was not originally a typical dwelling, but served a special function for rituals, religious purposes, or some other significant reason. These drawings may have been part of a sacred space where the ancient Maya preserved symbols for worshiping deities, conducting rituals, or even telling historical stories. This discovery has sparked even more curiosity among researchers about the unresolved mysteries of the Mayan culture. The Maya left their mark not only in art, but also in science, with incredibly accurate discoveries about the universe and natural laws. These drawings could be one of the key pieces in understanding their way of life, as well as the spiritual values the Maya preserved for thousands of years. While much of Mayan civilization may seem to have faded over time, discoveries like this prove that their mysteries are still alive, waiting for us to uncover and decode them. Treasure full of gold jewelry, found in ancient tomb. On August 24, 2024, Ancient Origins reported that a team of archaeologists discovered a treasure trove of ancient artifacts in the tomb of a Thracian warrior in the village of Kapitan Petko Voivoda, near Topolovgrad, Bulgaria. The treasure includes a gold necklace, a glittering gold crown, a gold ring, and even a dagger inlaid with gold and semi-precious stones, all buried alongside the remains of a Roman-era warrior, dating back to the early 1st century AD. The Topolovgrad authorities recently shared this exciting news on their Facebook page, noting that the excavation was conducted by the same team as last year. The team also uncovered several weapons and a breastplate, all indicating that this warrior was not an ordinary soldier, but rather a knight from a wealthy and powerful family. Notably, the presence of a horse buried next to the remains further enriches this story. The Thracian warriors were among the most formidable and distinctive armies of the ancient world, recognized for their unique weapons, combat style, and significant contributions to the military history of the Balkans and surrounding regions. The Thracians inhabited areas that now include Bulgaria, Romania, northern Greece, and parts of Turkey. Their warrior culture left a lasting impact on the armies of neighboring civilizations, such as Greece, Persia, and Rome, highlighting their importance in the context of ancient military history. The current excavation is being directed by Daniela Agre from the National Institute of Archaeology with the museum at the Bulgarian Academy of Sciences. The team discovered the treasure on the second day of the excavation. Among the treasures unearthed was a remarkable hunting knife with a handle inlaid with gemstones and shaped like a hunting dog. Experts even stated that some of the artifacts are unlike anything previously found in Bulgaria. Therefore, they announced that once the excavation process is complete, the artifacts will be transferred to and preserved at the History Museum in Topolovgrad. If you have the chance, you can visit and admire this priceless treasure. As you can see, the ancient world truly knows how to leave us astonished, from the ruins, tombs, to the perfectly preserved skeletons. Everything makes us exclaim that they are so mysterious and fascinating. So, out of all the discoveries today, which one impressed you the most? Please share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any other interesting discoveries. Now goodbye and see you next time.